Do you think women are still getting paid less than what they work for?
Women are absolutely getting underpaid in whatever they do. Walk into that room and ask for more money. You say your price and you show your value.
So what is crazy that you've heard in terms of gender pay gap?
They don't know how to ask for it. Globally, only 2% of the funding go to women-led startups. We theoretically say men and women are equal, but action-wise, we are far, far behind. Whether we are playing roles at home, we are a mother, we are a daughter, we are a wife, or we are doing our jobs and we are running businesses, right? But we don't know how to ask for that respect, that pay gap that we need to mend. We just need to do more of it. So I think everybody is trying to find their purpose in life. And I focused my energy on it 24/7. So for somebody like me who wanted to have a family and still make it at the top of the corporate ladder meant a big race against time and against everything that's standing in front of you. It should be a part of your conversation like every day ki khana kya khaoge? Paisa kahan lagaoge, right? And you need to ask. And I think asking is something which is very difficult for women.
So Reema, let's jump straight in. Yeah? So do you think women are still getting paid less than what they work for?
Women are absolutely getting underpaid in whatever they do because they don't ask for it. And I think that is the biggest issue. Men have the audacity to ask a lot more than what they are worth. Women will ask 50% of what they're worth, right? So you look at any job which is getting floated in the market, women will read all the criteria and say, मैं 100% इस पे tick करती हूँ कि नहीं, then I will apply for that job. For the same job, a guy who's like even 50%, has qualifications, experience, whatever, that guy will go with full overconfidence and say, I can do it. And it happens in every phase of life, not only jobs and, corporate world, everywhere. And women do not, even in businesses that we all run, right? We always, every time you have to increase your price, you always have to think about, should I increase? Am I delivering enough value? Women always feel that they want to deliver more value and they want to charge less. And it's a mentality thing. So women absolutely get paid less. I'm 100% sure of that.
Right. So we've actually, when we were doing our research, we realized that women globally get 20% paid lesser as compared to men. And it's going to probably take about 130 years is what it said, right? That it'll take 130 years for women to bridge this pay gap. So what is something really outrageous or really crazy that you've heard from women in terms of gender pay gap or pay gap when it comes to them?
I think they don't know how to ask for it. And for me, the outrageous or the thing that we need to work on is giving them more confidence that they're more capable of it and they totally deserve it. And, they should walk into that room and ask for more money because they're delivering more value, essentially. And that, one of the statistics we have about venture funding, for example, globally, only 2% of the funding go to women-led startups. What that means? It means of the $100 invested in startups, 2% of that goes to women, like $2 of that. That is so little. We just need more. But women-led startups actually give you 2.5x more returns than men.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
So it's like people just need to get convinced that women don't ask for enough money. And they want to over-deliver. And we as women are perfectionists in all the roles that we want to play, whether we are playing roles at home, we are a mother, we are a daughter, we are a wife, or we are doing our jobs and we are running businesses, right? But we don't know how to ask for that respect, that pay gap that we need to mend. And I think we just need to do more of it.
So do you think this is cultural? Do you think that this is something women haven't learned how to ask? Or is it something you think that women feel shy about asking what they
I'll
work?
talk from Indian culture concept, right? Because that's how I've grown up. So I grew up in India until my early 20s, and then we moved to London after that. Women are taught to be very demure, very mindful. They're taught to be, you have to respect everyone in the room, whichever room you are standing in. And it's a very culture thing that if you're standing up for something which is different, you're seen as labeled as bossy, or you have an attitude,
Yeah.
if you're asking more at work. Yeah. So those are the labels that women get through the ages, and at home as well at work if they stand up for something. So it's a very cultural thing of letting women come out. While if a guy is being, very adamant and going after something, they're like, oh, he has the aptitude for growth. He's driving scale, all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But women के लिए बहुत ही अलग attitude होता है. But why? My question is why do we do that, right? Because it's a cultural fact that we theoretically say men and women are equal. Everybody theoretically wants them to be equal, but action wise I think we are far behind, still.
Yes.
far behind.
Yes.
And there's so much more the road that we need to travel.
So I actually read somewhere where it said that even though men and women try to be equal, and there are places where you said that, oh, you're at equal level as a man, but that's only a facade. When it comes to actually being equal, things don't work the same, right? So it's like to show something and to be something is totally different. What do you think
Absolutely.
about that?
I think yes, and I think the roles that we play in the society also play a role, right? A woman becomes a mother, and your biological age and your career age are totally contradicting, right? You're having kids at the age when everybody is growing and moving ahead, and when you come back from that motherhood after having, like, I came back and I had 2 kids and I had taken a break for 4-5 years. The guys have moved on and now become senior managers, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of starting at that level, right? So I think we just need the whole societal setup needs to be
Change.
conducive to this.
Yes.
And accepting the fact that women are caregivers and nurturers of souls, and until we get there we will not get the equality we are asking for.
So true. So have you in your corporate days ever faced a pay gap or ever been told to settle for lesser?
Absolutely. So I think you always have to go and ask for your next promotion, right? So I come from a consulting background. So if you're at this level, you all get paid the same salary. At least at the initial levels, it's standardized. But for you to move from this level to this level, there's obviously a promotion structure and there's certain criteria you need to meet. But you need to stand up for yourself and say, I'm ready for the next step. And women by default do not ask for it, right? So it takes longer for them to go from this step to this step. And I think that is prevalent in all corporates. You don't ask, you don't get. It's a very simple thing.
And so did you ask?
I did ask.
Okay.
But I learned it very late, and I learned it the harder way, because I was seeing, why is he getting promoted while I'm not getting promoted, and I think I'm equally or better capable than the person next to me, and I think I can deliver on the same projects at a better quality. So I started asking. But asking doesn't come naturally. It takes a lot of work on yourself to go stand in that room and ask for more money, ask for a promotion, ask for the next step, right? So I actually got counsel from my husband a lot. So because he's like, why are you not asking? You should be asking for more. You are at the same level and all of that. So it comes very naturally to men, how it
Yes,
is, right?
true.
And for women, no. I mean, abhi theek hai, chal raha hai, I'm happy, I'm still getting a good salary. Why? Good is not good enough. Right? It's not enough, basically. And I've always seen it's the vision. It's probably the gender thing, right? Women tend to be perfectionists, so I'm always in the details and making sure every action is completed.
Yes.
I'm not. Whatever I'm working on, I want that to be perfect. My husband, and it's a very boy thing, and I think it's typical. He's the big vision guy. And I think that is, he'll come up with ye bhi kar lenge, ye bhi kar lenge, ye bhi kar lenge. He's always thinking big picture, right? While women are more into the details, and it's a gender thing probably, that we want to be perfectionists, while men are looking, how do I grow from here? And we just have to change that narrative in our own ways.
So true. So what did you change in yourself to make that happen for yourself? So you said that initially you didn't ask for a raise, you were one of those more demure kinds, like all of us are.
Yeah.
And then what changed in you when you spoke to your husband, and how did you work on yourself?
I have taken a lot of coaching on by myself and through the people around me, and build that support system now that helps me to go further. from my husband, my family, to my friends who stand next to me when I take the next step. I think I go back and counsel them, and I think they push me enough now and challenge me in the right way. Even my business coach and my, the whole coaching community, I'm trying to find the right people who will support my growth. And you need to find people who are on your side of the journey and where you're comfortable with going and asking, and who will teach you how to ask.
So well said, right? So you need to have really a community of people who stand behind your back to make it happen for you.
Absolutely.
And I think as women, we need to start supporting each other. So tell me, Reema, what made you leave your corporate job? Was it because of burnout, or was it because you now had a purpose in life, or what was it that made you leave your job?
So, IWD that I run today happened by chance.
Okay.
It was never planning. Right? So I come from IIT Delhi, I'm Bangalore. I've gone the corporate ladder, I've scaled it. COVID happened, and COVID changed a lot of lives, and it changed mine too. Mm-hmm. So running a little Facebook group was a passion and a side idea, and never the mainstream job, because I was doing a corporate job and a very successful one, and getting a fat salary paycheck, right? But COVID, when I felt the stress in the system, I found a niche in the market and a gap in the market which did not exist in Dubai. When we started, so every day at 4:00 during COVID, I would do a free Zoom session for ladies. Anybody who would give me a free session, I'd say free yoga, free Zumba. I'd say do it for my girls. And IWD grew from word of mouth with a handful of members to 30,000, purely by word of mouth marketing and people liking what we did, how we did it, how we ran the community, the quality that we maintain on there. And when it touched 30,000, I think for me that was the eye-opener. And I said, oh my God, I've created something beautiful. It's my passion because I really enjoy it. And I think maybe I should try and figure out a career in it full-time. So I took a sabbatical from my work for 3 months. And I told them that this is a hobby kind of side passion that I've been doing for a while during COVID, because we were working from home. So I had time. When it was time to go back to work, I said, wait, I'll take 3 months more off. And I focused my energy on it 24/7. And when I did it 24/7, I think I could just see, the returns we were getting in terms of people getting engaged, in terms of reach, the audience we did. And I felt I will go and figure out a career in it. So when I started, there was no career. I did not know how we were going to grow it. We were just going with the flow and enjoying the journey. But I enjoyed it so much in those 3 months that it was my passion that I literally worked 24/7 on it. So my husband always jokes, right? Ki jab tum corporate mein hote the, you work from 9 to 9. It's never 9 to 6 in corporate, right? You work from 9 to 9. But at 9 o'clock, you can shut your laptop and close. When you're doing your own thing, you're working 24/7. So, but I was much happier doing it 24/7 with the energy and the bubbliness that you see, because I enjoy it. And then I think there was no looking back after that.
That's so incredible.
And that's how IWD.
I'd like to again go back to your corporate life and ask you that why did you think of leaving something which was giving you a fat paycheck month on month? And was it to do with that you didn't gel with that system and you preferred to, be out of it rather than be in it and not get your full value or worth, if I may say so, or you were silenced in some which way, or is it more to do with the fact that you wanted to stand out and be an entrepreneur? So it's not easy to be an entrepreneur, right? Yeah. And to be able to take a sabbatical for 3 full months and say that, okay, I want to try something new and I'm ready for it. There has to be some starting point. Something somewhere was probably nagging you for you to do something like this. So tell me more about that.
So I think everybody is trying to find their purpose in life. And I think for me, COVID and that setup of this organization kind of gave me a purpose in life. Corporate jobs are amazing, and touch wood, I have no regrets about it. I was doing very well. I had a very decent, very good fat salary paycheck, right? And I've loved every moment of it. The people I've worked with, I love them all. I'm still in touch with most of my ex-colleagues, right? And they all supported now, right? So, but I think IWD gave me that opportunity to create social impact in a very meaningful way. So I never call ourselves just an entrepreneurship journey. I think it's a social enterprise, because we still, the agenda or the core of setting up this community and now running it is still to touch base with the maximum Indian people in the Indian community now. So there's a social agenda behind everything that we do, and the social impact that we can create at the ground level cannot be measured, right? It is, there's so much more we can go after even after having done it for 4 years. So I think corporate में वो opportunity नहीं था.
True.
Right. So corporate में I was doing M&A, I was doing PR, a lot of private equity work. It was really good. It's nice to sit in big boardrooms and decide, 350 million में बेचेंगे, 500 million में खरीदेंगे. It's very nice to be a part of those CEO conversations, right? And you feel you're adding value, especially when you're a young consultant, because I come from a consulting background, and when I started, I was like a 25-year-old girl standing in front of a 50-year-old CFO telling him my Excel spreadsheet is better than yours because I've done the maths properly. So it gives you a lot of confidence. But then this is my own. IWD is my own baby, right? And I can nurture it and grow it in the direction I want it to grow. So that's what excites me today.
Nice. But was that an anomaly at that point in time to say that you were one of those people whose voices were heard in the corporate, zone, or is it something that you thought every woman in your organization that you worked in was given that equal status?
Not at all, right? Even in consulting, so what happens, I'll tell you, at least in my industry that I come from, a lot of women join at the lower level.
True.
Right? So every company wants to be, gender neutral. They would try and recruit as many women as men, and that's what happens. And when you're starting off, a lot of women join. But as the pyramid grows, the number of women, because the job is intense, okay?
Yeah.
The number of women moving out of that intense corporate ladder, you will see that stepping out for various reasons, whether they want to go nurture their families, they want a light job, they are not able to handle the stress, whatever it is, right? Or they don't find the right support system in the job, in the corporate world, right? So as you go to the top, the number of partners I had to look up for was very little. Very few, I'll tell you, very few female partners in the consulting world were female at the top. And the women who were there were either divorced or had no kids. So for somebody like me who wanted to have a family and still make it at the top of the corporate ladder meant a big, big race against time and against everything that's standing in front of you, right? Because it is intense and it is brutal at times. So if you're not competing, you will feel left behind, or you will not get paid enough, or you will feel undervalued. And me being a woman achiever and I want the best for myself, you're not okay with it, right? So you will see that women then start stepping out of that corporate ladder and say, it's not for me, I will find some other more, lifestyle friendly job and all. And that happens in a lot of industries today, right? But how do we create that conducive environment that it's okay to go take a break and come back? Go, if you're having a baby, you want to go take 1 year off, go come back, do nurture the little child you've grown, then come back. It's not very normal, because when you go back, you're not accepted with the same intensity than you were, right? You still have baby care duties. You still have to pick up your kids, from school. You have parent mornings to attend and coffee mornings to attend. So I don't think we're still cut out for that. I still feel there's a lot more needs to be done in that direction for women to go back to the workforce in a very conducive environment.
True. So let's now come back to your IWD stint. Now that you've been as a part of IWD for probably 4 years now, or 5 years, right? So how do you decide your rate? Whether it's to do with your branding or it's to do with your speaking gigs or any of these kind of things, how do you decide your rate?
You are always and I take a lot of, I'm listening to a lot of podcasts, about pricing, because I did not know that, right? So a lot of these life skills are missing, and we're not getting taught at school. How do you decide your rates? How do you file your taxes? All of that, right? I think you're always covering. With the next client, you're always trying to pitch. So my, something which I learned from one of the coaches was pitch higher next time. And if 3 people say yes, that means you're undercharging. And if you hear 2 no's, then you probably need to, lower your pricing. And I think I'm always trying that.
Interesting, very interesting. So what is one negotiation tactic which has really worked for you?
I think you say your price and you show your value. If you just go to price and a number, it's not going to work. But if you state it with the value you are delivering and why you are different and what's your USP, you are more likely to convert your client.
I love that. And can we probably ring this
really?
bell for this
Yay!
one? Yay!
Wonderful.
So absolutely, right? Women demanding and commanding their value is the only way ahead for them to get the right price for themselves. Yes. So superb. What's the hardest part of redefining worth, what is worth for you in entrepreneurship?
See, it's a very abstract concept, right? Worth. You can, putting it in numbers in terms of pricing is always difficult. But I think if you're choosing a project, and this is just an advice for any entrepreneur, you should feel proud of the fact that you got paid for it and whatever value you've asked, and that's your worth. And if in your head you've charged the right amount and it's paying for whatever you're delivering on, you should be happy.
So it's more to do with your price and the amount that you get, or is it a little larger than that in terms of creating impact or making a difference to how would, for you per se, when you started, you said that, because I was enjoying myself, I had more time to myself, I had 30,000 women who had already joined in. Was that also in some way creating your worth?
Yeah, because that defines your USP, right? That defines my USP. And I said, right, when you're quoting a price, you need to tell what's your USP. And my USP is we are a social impact organization. We reach out to the Indian families more deeply than anybody else could possibly be. And we talk to those women every day. That on a ground level and a mass level that I don't think any other organization is deeply entrenched into the Indian community. And for me, that's my worth. And that defines my price. And that defines how I work or what I work on.
So do you think women need to be financially selfish? Or is this something which is not the right word to say?
I think they need to be financially independent. You don't need to be selfish. You could still be cohabiting, co-living with your family. For example, I do it with my husband, and it's very natural for Indian families to be, having similar bank accounts. But you need to be financially literate and financially independent to make your own decisions. Yeah. And to be able, and if it's a family decision, to be able to influence them in the direction you feel it should go for. Right. So I think financial literacy is something, especially for women, right? It doesn't come naturally. We're not taught this. Nobody teaches us what is SIP, which is now super core of what you should be doing when you're building your wealth in life, right? It never gets taught. So I learned it super late. If somebody had taught me in my college ki you should start doing that, I think I would have saved a lot more money, but it never came across, right? So they need to be financially literate and they need to be taught these skills very early. Everybody, not even women, men also. But I don't know how men probably learn it more quickly than women do. So I think women need to be just aware of where they are in their life and how they want to manage their money.
So what if they don't have their money? A lot of women are not working, and typically you see a lot of women who are not working, right? How do they get financially independent? What are your thoughts on that?
They still can be educated about where the family money is getting spent, right? Let's say you're a homemaker and it's a very respectable job, and I respect everybody who's they're working equally hard managing the family budget, right? But you're still managing a family budget in most of those cases, right? So why not do it in a much more structured way, right? And then why not have influence on where your family investments are going? And in 99% of the cases, Indian women will say, my husband will do it, my father will manage where my money is going, मैं तो बस salary लेके दे देती हूँ उनको, या my husband will give me a little bit of pocket money and I just spend that much. Why don't you know where it goes, where it should go? Where are you saving money for your children's future, for your education, for your insurance, for your health, right? We don't ask those questions unless you land into an emergency and you really have to ask those questions. It should be a part of your conversation, like every day ki khana kya khaoge, paisa kahan lagaoge, right? Yeah, so but we're more focused on khana kya khaoge than paisa kahan lagaoge. And I think those dinner table conversations do not happen as much as they should. But like I was saying, right, like my daughter, I want her to be financially independent. Every mom now wants their children to be financially independent. But it starts with you. So it starts with me, and it has to pass on to the next generation. So if I don't know how to manage my money, how do I expect my daughter to be financially independent? You can't.
I love that. Can we again ring a bell on
really?
this one? Absolutely. So for your kids to be financially independent, as women, you need to be financially.
Absolutely. The women kind of runs the family in a way, right? Your values, your ethics, the way you run the home defines the personality of your kids and how they grow up, right? That's basic NLP. That the grooming that we do in the childhood years and telling them that this is how you can be independent actually decides how they will be as adults, right? But if you don't groom them from the early age and tell them that I know where the family money is going, I have my own bank account. So for me, I think I will tell you, I was telling, right? I don't know why women don't have bank accounts. I don't know why they don't have cards or don't know how to use credit cards online. Why they are still not? Why they are still waiting for their husband to come home at 7 o'clock and then do a transaction and pay for something they wanted to buy? At least own your own decisions and decide where your money is going. And you just need to be financially independent to make that decision. And it only happens if you understand money. It only happens when you understand what's coming into your family, how much you can spend, how much you should be saving, how much you should be investing. So they just need to get more and understand the numbers, like don't run away from them.
Reema, how do you deal with women who feel undervalued, whether it's in their job or whether it's in their home or their business? How do you, as a person who is running IWD and who meets so many women, how do you deal with them?
So, Meeta, the sad truth is that it's true. Women still feel very underconfident at home, at their work, in their business, whatever they are doing. And I think at IWD, that's what I feel our mission is, to make women more confident. And that's what I'm trying to do through this enterprise, right? We make women feel more confident socially. When we do these social events, you will be amazed to see women coming out of their house after 4 years, for example. Somebody met me this morning at an event and said, "This is the first time I've come out in 4 years, alone." Right? It's a big step. It takes a lot of courage. But I think we're trying to create that safe environment that when you come, you will be greeted. It's a very in-person, event where you meet similar, like-minded women who are in probably similar situations to you, basically. And when you find that sisterhood and when you find your tribe, you're more likely to thrive. Right? So we are creating that social communities in IWD. We have a book club, we have a fitness club, we have a foodie club. So whatever your interest, we find people who are like-minded with you. Once you find your tribe, you're more likely to step out, you're more likely to enjoy life, you're more likely to be a bit more relaxed. And then the second segment, we try and make more confidence is women starting small businesses. Now, being in Dubai, you and I, and including me, we moved here because as a family, it made much more sense for us to be in Dubai, right? But I left a flourishing career back in London and had to start from scratch here. And most of the women leave their careers back home and don't find jobs in Dubai or don't find something. Now, we are trying to start an army of entrepreneurs who are trying to start their own businesses. These are MSME businesses. They're very small. These are ladies starting their second career from home. But we want to provide that whole ecosystem where they can come and ask questions. They can learn simple things like social media. They can learn simple things like, okay, how do I manage my money? What is my right price? How do I negotiate with my customers? If my customer comes and says this, how do I reply to it? These are skills which need to get learned in a job you're trying, in an enterprise that you're trying to launch, right? So we're trying to help women become socially as well as financially. And that's kind of the agenda we are on.
That's lovely, because you're not only providing them the skills, but you're also providing them the competence and the confidence,
Yes.
right? To be able to come out of their shell and be valued by people and be
Yes.
seen around by people.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we work on money, we work on upskilling them, right? So we work on 3 things at IWN, which is my Indian Women Network, which is the entrepreneurs network we've set up. We have 200 flourishing entrepreneurs on it, and the whole agenda is money, marketing, and mindset.
Nice.
And I think if you pick each of those, you need them to be a successful entrepreneur. So money, you need to learn how to ask for money, how to manage your money. We've spoken enough about it. Marketing, because in today's age, you cannot a business cannot flourish without marketing. You need to leverage the digital marketing and the social media and all of that. But the most important one is mindset.
Yes.
Right?
Agreed.
The mindset of being able to walk out of your house in the morning and come for a social meetup or a business meetup. The mindset of telling your kids that now you guys go and study and mommy has to work or do her webinar or whatever she has to do, basically, right? That mindset of asking for time for yourself from your family is very important, and you need to ask. And I think asking is something which is very difficult for women. So that's what we're trying to coach them on.
Right. So asking for permission first from yourself, and then be ready to ask from your family and from your kids, right? So that's beautiful. So if you came to know that a 26-year-old woman is getting underpaid, she's just realized that she's getting probably 40% lesser than her male peer, what would your recommendation to be her or advice be to her?
Ask. As simple as that. If you understand, you're being undervalued, you already know that the company has the capability to pay you more and you are delivering more impact, more value, go and ask for it. And right now, I think people want to support you, but you don't ask.
Lovely. So ask.
Ask.
Absolutely.
Three letters. That's it.
Yes. Complete this sentence for me. A woman who knows her worth is.
Let me think. I didn't. A woman who knows her worth is unstoppable.
So what's the next mountain you are climbing, Reema, for yourself?
Bigger and better. I think that's why I've taken every one day at a time and 1 month at a time. And every time we do a project, we want to just do it bigger and better. So I have a vision. I want to make it big. I want to make it scalable. I think I want to conquer the world, but
Love that.
one step at a time. And I think that's how I go about things.
So more power to you.
Thank
and
you.
thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.